Okay, well, my first issue is assessing. This board is in receipt of a court order by the Board of Land and Tax Appeals, stimulated by the Atkinson Taxpayers for Fair Evaluation Committee, to schedule a meeting to work with us on our first appeal of 2006 property tax abatements. This court order verifies our position that it is the responsibility of the Board of Selectmen as assessors to properly do the job of assessing as required by RSA. Accordingly, we would like to ask if this board is going to require town council opinion as to the necessity to abide by this court order, or can we get an appointment time tonight for a meeting scheduled for this week to do that?
I'll take anything under advisement, Liam.
Any idea when we could have an answer to when we could have that meeting?
No, I'll take it under advisement, but I'll get back to you within a reasonable amount of time.
Okay.
What specifically is the question, Liam?
The question is, we would like to ask this board if this board is going to require town council opinion as to the necessity to abide by this court order, or can we get an appointment time tonight for a meeting scheduled for this week?
Okay, thank you.
The next point was right-to-know information. In June of 2007, we heard rumors that the last Board of Selectmen were in violation of Environmental Protection Agency regulations for not filing stormwater reports.
Can we stick to the issue of abatements?
This was I'm all done with it.
That's it?
That's it. I'm
Okay.
going on to the next issue. I only had four: right-to-know information, assessing
Okay.
right-to-know information, freedom of speech, and ethics and conflict of interest.
Okay. So the next subject is what?
Right-to-know information.
Right to know.
May I continue?
Okay. Yes, please, I'm sorry.
In June of 2007, we heard rumors that the last Board of Selectmen were in violation of Environmental Protection Agency regulations for not filing stormwater reports, and the town was being fined. We asked repeatedly, but was told nothing was wrong. Rumors prevailed, and we finally filed a right-to-know letter in January of this year. We specifically asked for that information to be supplied before deliberative session so we could prove our town administrator was not doing his job. That request, along with other information we were looking for, was sent to town council for opinion, knowing the information would be required. That information was not supplied until well after deliberative session and contained no information as to stormwater reports we were looking for. In fact, all the folders we were given for inspection contained almost nothing required in the right-to-know letters. We were told repeatedly that was all the information the town had in its files. We scanned the information made available and left the building because we already knew that the town had been fined from another source. 2 days later, before we could break the news to the taxpayers of Atkinson, the Eagle Tribune ran an article regarding the fine. We returned to the town hall the next day to inspect the files again, only to find the information reported in the Tribune article magically appeared in the town files, along with other information not previously declared. We scanned the new information for comparison against what we were originally given. In that information was a January 2007 letter to the previous board stating no less than 3 different divisions of the EPA had informed the board that 2 years' worth of reports were missing and had not been addressed. My questions to you tonight are, why didn't the prior board know these reports were required? Why weren't they completed on time? Why didn't the prior board reprimand the town administrator and verify the reports were filed correctly before the town was fined $5,000 in taxpayer monies? We want to know who is responsible for withholding the information required in our right-to-know letters. Is this new Board of Selectmen going to continue the policy of not complying with right-to-know request, or are they going to meet their legal timely obligations regarding future right-to-know letters? End of that subject.
Did you know those questions? I didn't.
Yeah, I'm going to, they're on tape.
Oh, okay.
So
Thanks.
Can we
I'll
answer this?
take that under advisement. I'll take your questions under advisement. If you want to turn them in black and white, real simple questions, I'll get real simple answers.
Next issue, freedom of speech. In this last election, signage was made an issue. In particular, the Atkinson Reporter blogspot.com signs were declared illegal. Based on legal opinion at taxpayers' expense, dispersed by the former chairman of the board. That board ordered the signs removed, hopefully not destroyed, and persons not named responsible for placing the signs were labeled cowards. Later, it was determined that the chairman of the board...
Lance, you're in a gray area that I'm starting to get a little nervous. I don't want any referrals to any individuals. I do not.
So, chairman of the
Public
board...
meeting here. No, chairman of the board, no.
Later, it became obvious to the board that legal counsel had not told this board that the signs were illegal and the signs should not have been removed. My questions to you are, why are not all selectmen advised by town council on any opinion rendered? We feel that if you're asking for legal opinion, it should not go to one person. You all should be informed in order to keep this from happening again. We'd like to know why this was allowed to happen by the rest of the selectmen on the board at that time. We'd like to know what happened to the signs and when they will be returned. What action has been taken or will be taken to reprimand the misinformation given to the board at that time? What public notification has been issued to correct the facts the signs were not illegal? What have the selectmen done in order to avoid another legal lawsuit against the town regarding this matter? What steps is the town going to take to ensure freedom of speech will not be infringed upon again in this town? When will a public apology be given to those Atkinson taxpayers that were branded as cowards? Last subject is ethics. In the light of the knowledge that a mistruth was given to the board, we have a real problem with that individual being part of the ethics committee. We would like to know what...
Stop right there, please. I'm going to sit you down if you do it.
It is our opinion that...
Please. Please. Okay.
I'm done.
All right. Thank you for being a gentleman. We really will take this under advisement. We will have some responses. And if you want to make those questions clearer than I wrote down, or that Bill wrote down,
I'll give
whatever.
you the source.
Please. Okay? I mean that. Okay?
And when can we expect an answer? Should we get on the agenda next week for answers?
I don't think it's necessary to get on the agenda for it, but we'll get some answer out to you.
Next week?
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay. And if those answers should not be satisfactory, will we be allowed back to address them?
Not if they're not satisfactory. If we don't respond to them, then I think you have a reason to come. But I don't expect all of them will be satisfactory to you. To be quite honest with you, some of them, have some merit.